what's been the most surprising moment you've had in terms of your own, spark, if you will, either a discovery or something you came across or something you created that took you most by surprise?
Well, for me, it's just been hearing Dave's music as it's come out. I didn't know really what to expect, and he's written a number of really beautiful themes, and I'm convinced one of them is going to become a standard.
Which is there a title to it so we can lay money on it?
For me, it's Creature.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a number of great themes. Spark of Beans is a great theme too, and we'll see. But that's really neither here nor there. Your question was I surprised? And yeah, I was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really beautiful melodies that came out of thin air, seemingly to me, and then they correspond really well with what I was editing, and I had no, I was hoping that this would be the case, but we talked a lot just when we first began, getting to know each other, about the types of music that would work with the type of image that I edited, and there needed to be some sort of space, and there needed to be in some cases, a melody, and Dave really came with the goods. So it was a pleasant surprise.
How about for your part, Dave?
Well, I had made a list of those conversations and then translated them into musical rules for myself in writing. Certain things would belong and certain things wouldn't belong.
I guess I was surprised you listened.
We musicians, we tend to be good listeners.
Yeah.
So I also didn't know what to expect from Bill. The first clip he sent me was a 12-minute clip of this vinegar-distressed Davy Crockett film from the 1930s, you think? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably the 40s.
And the way that it is in the film now, it's so stunning and unbelievable, you wouldn't believe it. But when he first sent it to me, it was 12 minutes of this incredibly garbled thing, and I showed it to my wife, and it was like, "You're working with this guy? Does anything happen?" And then I actually sent it to some of the guys in the band, and they wrote back saying, "I think something was wrong with the QuickTime file that you sent, because it's not really looking right." So, but I knew what he meant and how it was eventually going to be used, and it was really inspiring to hear it. And actually, there was audio on it that I've ended up borrowing and using in part of the score.
I tried to explain to someone once the image in Decasia of the one side of the boxing match that you can see where the guy's fighting the decaying cloud, or the appearance of a decaying cloud, and it screens a lot better than it's described.
But I've had that experience before where they say, "Well, the tape you gave me was screwed up. Can we do the interview tomorrow after I've seen a clean one?"
No, I'm sorry, that's it.
That's it.
But I think you asked about surprise, and I would say that one of the things that I really did differently, were forced to do differently on this project, was record early demo versions of the music in advance in order to give it to Bill. Usually I write the pieces and we rehearse and we go on the road, and then we come back and we go in the studio, and that's it. So in this case, I had 2 rounds of getting the band together, or various members of the band, and going into the studio and producing, these early mock-ups of the themes and of some of the ideas, so that he would have some frame of reference for what it was going to sound like. And first of all, he then cut some footage to some of these early demos, and it was, the wonderful surprise was to put it on and see even this piece of music that was really grating to me. It was really frustrating because it was not the final thing, but to see that Bill had actually cut to it, and that it was working really great, and that these images, that was the moment for me when I was like, "Oh wow, this is really gonna work. This is really gonna be something."